Hey, so when you think of a dictionary, what comes to mind? Probably some big, dusty book you use to check your spelling, right? Well, what if I told you that inside those pages are epic stories? I'm talking battles, revolutions, and the entire biography of our language. We're about to totally flip the script on what you thought a dictionary was.
I want you to just let that question sink in for a minute, because honestly, it's the key to this whole thing. For literally centuries, there's been this war raging between two completely different ideas about what a dictionary should even be. Okay, so on one side you've got the prescriptivists. Think of them as the language police. They believe a dictionary's job is to lay down the law, to tell you the correct way to talk and write. And on the other side, you've got the descriptivists. They're more like language reporters. Their philosophy is, hey, our job is just to document how people actually use the language. You know, the good, the bad, and the ugly. This massive clash, well, that's the engine that drives our entire story.
All right, so let's jump back in time and meet the first architects who tried to build some kind of order out of the beautiful chaos that is the English language. And let me tell you, they were firmly on team language police.
Now, two names really just tower over this whole era. First, in 1755, you have Samuel Johnson. This guy creates this absolutely monumental dictionary with the goal of, and I quote, fixing the English language in place. Then, fast forward to 1828, and you've got Merriam-Webster doing something totally revolutionary over in America. These two really set the stage for a dramatic showdown that would happen way later, in 1961, a moment that was basically an earthquake in the dictionary world.
This quote, it captures Samuel Johnson's personality perfectly. I mean, he wasn't just defining words, he was giving his opinions. His dictionary was packed with these witty, sometimes pretty biased, definitions. Just look at this one for oats. With entries like this, he turned the person who writes dictionaries, the lexicographer, into a cultural authority figure.
And Merriam-Webster? His mission was just as big, but it had this political edge to it. He really wanted to create a uniquely American identity, something totally separate from Britain. And his weapon of choice? Spelling. So by changing color to color, or center to center, he wasn't just making things simpler, he was basically declaring linguistic independence. But then came a project so ambitious, so mind-bogglingly huge, that it completely changed what a dictionary could be. This wasn't about setting rules or building nations anymore. Nope. This was about telling the life story of every single word. This was the Oxford English Dictionary. Just look at that number. Over 600,000 words. The goal of the OED was, and it still is, to be this massive historical record. It doesn't just tell you what a word means right now. It tells you what it meant in the year 1450, where it came from, and every little twist and turn it has taken over the centuries. It's incredible. Let's actually see how this works. Remember Johnson's famous, witty definition of lexicographer as a harmless drudge? It's a classic one-liner. But the OED does something completely different. It gives you a whole list of dated quotes, showing you exactly when and how the word was used through time. It's the difference between looking at a single snapshot and watching the entire feature-length film of a word's life. So that brings us to today. The idea of one single, all-powerful dictionary that rules them all, that's pretty much gone. Instead, what we have now is a whole toolkit of different, specialized dictionaries, and each one is designed for a very specific job. For instance, if you're in the United States, Merriam-Webster is the gold standard for how Americans actually speak. Now, if you're learning English, dictionaries like Cambridge and Longman are amazing. Cambridge uses this giant database of real-world text to give you supernatural examples. And Longman does something genius. It defines every single word using only the 2,000 most common words, which makes it incredibly easy to understand. And that old war between the language police and the language reporters, it all came to a head right here. In 1961, when Merriam-Webster's third edition came out, it included the word ain't, without calling it wrong or bad English. And oh my gosh, there was a massive public outcry. People felt betrayed. They thought the dictionary had given up its job of upholding standards. But really, it was just doing its job as a language reporter, documenting a word that millions of people were in fact using.
Okay, so this whole history is fascinating, right? But it also gives us a really practical guide for today. Because knowing what a dictionary is trying to do, well, that helps you pick the right one for what you need to do.
So it breaks down pretty simply. You want to know the complete life story of a word? The OED is where you go, period. Writing something for a US audience? Merriam-Webster is going to be your standard. Are you learning English? The super clear examples in Cambridge or the simple definitions in Longman are going to be your best friends. And of course, if you're a doctor or an engineer, you're going to need a specialized dictionary for all that technical jargon.
And that leaves us with a very modern puzzle. That whole debate, prescriptivism versus descriptivism, it's more relevant now than ever before. In our world of memes, online slang, and phrases that go viral overnight, language is evolving faster than anyone can keep up. So I'll leave you with this question. Who gets to decide when a word like riz or yeet becomes official? And what does that tell us about who really holds the power over our language today? Something to think about.